All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We got a boxing match. Jake Paul taking on Ryan, aka Rhino. Prediction is Jake Paul's gonna knock him out within 3 rounds. Round 1, here we go. Sometimes I sit here and I think, where's Jake Paul fighting these guys? Oh God. One is built like an athlete, one just got off the oil rigs. Oh my God, that guy's slow as f. Oi! 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 Look at Jake Paul. Good for you, Jake. No, don't stop it, ref. He's fine. Don't. Oh my God. What are we even doing right now? Wow. I'm going to break down what is truly going on here. Let me get in the office for you guys, okay? All right, here we go. I'm about to cook this. In 3, 2, 1. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. We just got done watching Jake Paul demolish Ryan the Rhino. Okay, guys, the reason why you guys come to this channel is because I tell it how it is and how I see it. And ladies and gentlemen, I hate to break the news to you that all of Jake Paul's fights, when he's fighting these gentlemen out of the blue, I don't know where he finds these guys. You know, obviously Ryan, he is in an oil field background, and he got this great opportunity to fight Jake Paul in Puerto Rico, and more power to Ryan for taking this fight for Jake Paul, and I'm sure he made a nice little bag. Let's get to Jake Paul. Okay, Jake Paul wants to be taken seriously in the boxing world. He just had his 9th professional boxing match. And ladies and gentlemen, there is a difference between a professional boxer or professional athlete and an amateur, right? These fights that Jake Paul are doing, not the fights that he did against Anderson Silva, Tyron Woodley, Nate Diaz, Tommy Fury. I don't know if him and Tommy Fury are fight. I don't know. I can't keep track. He fights all these random guys. But those fights he fought against professional athletes. Now, against Andre August, against Ryan, and the basketball player he fought in the very beginning, those aren't professional fights. They're not. Okay? Ryan, he was a pro boxer at one point in time in his life, you know, sporting a record of 19-2. I'm not sure. But now this gentleman, father times have gotten to him, and he's also hasn't fought in a very, very long time. Now, when I sit back and I watch Jake Paul, is Jake Paul good? Yes, he is good. Okay? He understands the distance. He understands a good jab. When he gets in his combinations, they're not like pop, pop. You know, they're not pop, 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 pop. Like quick, like a cadence or a tempo or a rhythm. So when I sit back and I watch Jake Paul fight these amateur fights, I look at him as an amateur fight. I don't take them as a professional fight because he's not fighting professional level competition. Okay? Just because Michael Jordan was a professional basketball player, I don't want to see Michael Jordan go up against LeBron James. Okay? Even though Michael Jordan was the best basketball player of all time, he's not going to do very well against LeBron James. Right? Do you guys see where I'm making the comparison from? Not that Jake Paul is on LeBron James's level. I'm saying you can't have a 28-year-old gentleman who's trying to be an aspiring world champion in boxing fight a gentleman who's retired in boxing and gauge his skill over from that point. Like if they would have said this is a WBO world championship and Jake Paul would have won this fight and Jake Paul became a champion, do we take that belt seriously? Okay, as we sit here and we watch Jake Paul's evolution as a boxer, and he is evolving. Don't get me wrong, he is evolving. But what are you doing when you're fighting these guys that you find off the street? Like I said before, when he fought Andre August, the gentleman was, you know, running pizza routes. Okay, go find somebody who's 25, 26-year-old, who Eddie Hearn or somebody can find that's in the gym, that's grinding, that's hungry. Put yourself in the fire. Put yourself against top-level competition to build your credibility. Now, the world who doesn't understand boxing and how professional athletes work and all that stuff, they're going to believe you're one of the best in the world. But for a gentleman like me who's won 15 world titles, who's won an IBJJF competition, for me, I'm like, you're an amateur. Your fights are all amateur besides the ones you actually fight professional fighters. And even those guys, they're not at the high level of a world championship in boxing. I'm not at a world championship level of boxing when it comes to boxing. But in mixed martial arts, yes, I would say I am, because I've had the long amateur career and I've had 11 consecutive title defenses. So for me to say that Tyron really isn't in a boxing high level caliber of world championship, yes, I feel comfortable saying that to him because it's the truth. I'm not lying, I'm telling the truth. But when we sit here and we look at Jake Paul, this is an amateur fight. He's fighting guys who have not fought in a very long time, and he's being able to put it on the zone where he's making a lot of money, and he's also giving Amanda Serino a platform to be able to perform and make a lot of money. But when I sit down and I sift through the sand, I'm like, the next gentleman he's probably going to fight, I'm calling it right now, the next gentleman he's going to fight is probably the gentleman who showed up to his gym. I don't know his name. He's an Indian boxer. He's sporting a record of I'm not sure what, but I would not be surprised if that's his next opponent. Like I said before, when Jake Paul starts taking opponents that are active, that are good, and that are putting into work and that are young, then we can actually start seeing some great competition. Now, when he's saying it's too easy, it's too easy. Of course it's fucking too easy. You're fighting a guy who works on a fucking oil rig and is 35 years old. Of course it's going to be easy. That's like me going out there and trying to fight fucking, Joseph Benavidez, who's been a real estate agent. Granted, Joseph will put up a better fight, but this is what I'm getting at. I just don't want you guys being fooled. I love Jake Paul. I think he's doing a great job for Amanda Serino and for his career. But when we sit back as a professional athlete as myself, and I sit back and Jake Paul wants to be taken seriously in the boxing world, the fights that you're doing right now, my friend, they are all supposed to be done at a very early stage as an amateur career. You fight a guy like that in the amateur days. You don't sell, granted, he can sell out a fucking arena, but I just sit here and I'm like, these are amateur fights, right? The Andre August, the Ryan, the Rhino, those are amateur fights. The fact that he's making that much money doing these fights, it's literally like, one, it's incredible. He's smart, You got me. I signed up with the Zone only to watch Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua, two professional boxers actually to fight. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are watching this video, thank you so much. I just want to do a little rant to give you guys truly what's going on here. But when you watch Jake Paul versus Rhino, and then when you switch it to next Saturday, when you watch Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua, you're going to see two different type of athletes. You're going to see two athletes in their prime, not one coming into their prime and one that's already been out of its prime. You're going to see two athletes that had a long amateur career, not just in boxing, but in mixed martial arts. And then you're going to see these two guys lock horns. Okay, that's the difference. Now, once again, I am not hating. I'm sitting here talking. I was there. My son's sitting there. He doesn't even watch boxing. He goes, the gentleman on the far right, Ryan, he doesn't even look athletic, Dad. I'm like, he's not. He's 35 years old. He's been working a full-time job. Now, what's next for Jake Paul? Honestly, what's next for Jake Paul? He's going to find a gentleman who's probably doing fucking Lyft or Uber. I'm not sure. And fight him and give that gentleman a big bag. And here's the thing. Now, if Jake Paul was to say, hey, guys, you know what? Like, I'm doing all these fights. I'm fighting all these guys who are retired professional boxers who don't fight anymore just so I get some experience and fight these guys to get my eyes and my combinations good. And then once I'm done doing that, I'll start fighting some real competition. Perfect, Jake Paul. You do that. You absolutely do that. But don't go out there and say, that's like me beating my son up and saying it's just too easy. I'm just that good. It's just too easy. Humble yourself, son. Truly humble yourself. Think about that. You're 28 years old and you just beat up a 35-year-old man who's been working on oil rigs. I would like to know when that last gentleman's fight was. I would like to know when that last gentleman's sparring match was. Because from the way it looked like the gentleman just came off the couch. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe, and also hit the bell so when we go live. Now, once again, I love doing this because if I was in a room with these gentlemen, I would say the same thing. And I would hope if I ever in my life decide to go down this road to start, breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news, I have signed up to compete at Pan Ams, which is IBJJF, a big tournament in Pan Ams in Kissimmee, Florida. Now, I am 37 years old. I used to walk out 42 or 41 pounds. I have bulked up to go up to 154 pounds, which is the featherweight division. I'm going at brown belt masters. Now, I'm going to be going against people who are my own age, okay? So, I'm going against competition, and this is only my second IBJJF Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gi grappling tournament. Now, if I was to sign up as a white belt, I would be pulling a Jake Paul. But I'm signing up as a brown belt, which is my rank, second degree, going against other brown belts that might be doing it a lot longer than I have. That is the difference. I'm going against people who are my age and in my competition level. Not competition level, but my rank level. To where Jake Paul's not doing that. So, once again, make sure you hit the bell, like, subscribe. Also, leave a comment. What do you guys think about my analysis of it? Right? I didn't really give a breakdown of the fight just because it was a young athlete beating up a retired oiled man athlete. Nothing really to break down. Jake Paul's quick. He understands his jab. He understands his uppercut. He's trying to land an uppercut like they did against Andre August. He did a good job circling around. But you can't really gauge somebody's skill level of boxing when they're not really up against great competition. So, boys, as always, Mighty here. Mighty Gaming. Peace. One love.